All right, it is time for Friday Reads. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm super excited to be here today to share with you this video. In my Friday Reads videos, I share how my reading has been going, including what I finished, what I've started, and anything interesting that I'm carrying over week to week. And as always, I have some of everything, especially carryovers, because I am working on that currently reading and trying my best to finish these last 9 titles by October 31st. We shall see if I get there. But first, on to the finishes for the week. So I did end up finishing Women of, still don't know how to say it, Trachis by Sophocles. This is a play. I am working through the plays of Sophocles, at least the ones that have survived. And this one, I will admit, I did not get a strong sense of what was going on when I was reading it. And then I did, after I finished it, I did read the Wikipedia page, and I picked up some things, but not all things, including, I think there was, I'm trying to remember if there was a part that was a bit of a flashback or someone telling the story of something that had happened in the past. And that definitely tripped me up because I didn't realize it was something in the past. Anyway, so far from the ones that I have read, I'm reading them in performance order. It's not high on the list, but I just didn't understand it as much as the others, like Antigone or either of the Oedipus ones, or even Ajax. So I don't know, I think it's not as, it's not the one that's done as often. It'd be interesting to see if there's performance of this. I should take a look at that because seeing it always helps a lot. Had some interesting themes, lots of tragedy, like big on the tragedy, which I do enjoy in plays, but I didn't pick up on it a lot. I haven't been in the best reading, I don't know, moods, sorts, but I wanted to get it done, so I did finish it, but it wasn't my best work in terms of reading and comprehension, but that happens sometimes, and if I put it on hold, who knows how long it'll be on hold. So I did finish it, and we'll maybe see if I can see a performance of it, because I think that would be interesting. So there we go. Next up, I also finished another Usagi, and I actually don't know. I heard someone recently say Yojimbo, and I've always said Yojimbo, and I couldn't find the answer of how you pronounce, because for me, I always know it from the Akira Kurosawa film, and I'm like, I don't remember. I don't know. So I don't know. Usagi Yojimbo, Usagi Yojimbo, I'm not sure, but I read volume 32, Mysteries. I am getting close to caught up. This is a series I started, I think, in 2019, but the actual series, like the actual comics, started in the 80s. So this, and are still currently going as far as I understand. So this is an extremely long-running series, and I think there's up to at least 37 or 38. And I'm reading them in the volumes, which collect sort of 5 to 7 comics. And this one had two mysteries over several issues, and then a couple, I think, that were individual ones. And I really enjoyed it. I always enjoy this series, and Usagi's such a great character. He's a Ronin, and goes around, and it's like, I'm like, there's so many stories that I like this plot. It's the same plot or the same long arc plot as like Supernatural or even Burn Notice, which I'm rewatching right now, which is someone who's sort of like outside of like the regular path of things, and on this path they meet people who they help, and it's like, saving people, hunting things, the family business, like that's Supernatural, but it's like they all have a similar theme to them, and I guess it's a story I like. So yeah, this one was interesting. They were, in this collection, they were all mysteries, which I am not always the best at, and I don't think I figured any of them out. I didn't even try. I just let the story unfold, and that's fine with me. So I did finish that, so that was exciting. I have started a couple of things, including August of the Zombies by K.J. Campbell. This is the third in the Small Zombie Problem series. Is that what it's called? And this is a buddy read with Izzy and Kate Kelly. So this is the third and final book of the series, and the live show I will put down below. I believe it's the first Thursday in October. So we have been reading this series this year. It's a middle grade series, illustrated books about, we follow August, and there are, as you can probably tell, there's some zombies. I've only just started this one. I'm starting it way early because it is significantly larger than the last one. It is a fast read, but it's still, this one's over like 400 pages. So I'm giving myself a lot of time on these. That does, for me, it makes it less stressful to give myself a lot of time. So I do. And I'm enjoying it so far. Although for this one, I think it feels a little different than the other ones because in this one we have seen from other people's perspectives, and generally we only see from August. I don't think it's first person. I still think it's third person, but this one does have other people. So, and it's a bit whimsical but also zombies, which I guess is a combination that I like. Also in sort of the kids book realm of things, I started just randomly Diary of an 8-Bit Warrior Crafting Alliances. This is the third in the 8-Bit Warrior series. And it's I don't know how to describe it. It's a highly illustrated, well, it's based on Minecraft, I imagine. I'm kind of, I don't know, actually. Is it? I don't know. It's by Cube Kid. An unofficial Minecraft adventure. Yeah, it's on the cover. I've never played Minecraft. So this is a highly illustrated, like lots of illustrations, like within each of the pages, kids book. It's over 200 pages, and it actually is a really slow read for me. So I'm I just picked it up because it was a kids book, and I'm like, oh, this one might take a while. But I'm a gamer, so like even though I don't know the specifics of what they're talking about, I'm still enjoying it. Though that being said, today I did read a bit of this and a bit of one of the Conan stories, and the plots are a little similar, and the stories are a bit blended now that I think about it, because they both have some similar themes. Anyway, I honestly, I've only gotten like 30 pages in, so what the story is or will be, I'm not quite there yet. I'm only like, I guess, about 8 to 10% of the way through, but I am enjoying it. It's an interesting format, and it's engaging. It's got lots of different stuff on the page. I'm reading it online as opposed to downloading from the library, and the page, it shows like a 2-page spread, like this way, so it's a little, I should try and turn it and see if that makes it better. So it's a little small, so it feels like a slow read. So, but I am enjoying it, and it's fun. In terms of the manga reading I'm doing, I'm currently reading My Love Mix-Up. I have finished volume 3, which is this one, and I've started volume 4. Oh, that really, there we go. This is by Wataru Hinekure, art by Aruko. All the information will be down below, including illustrators and translators, of course. So this is a story about, this series is about, it's actually quite cute. It's a romance. It's a shoujo, even though it kind of feels like it should be a yaoi. It's listed, when I looked it up, it's listed as a shoujo because it's about a guy who covers for his crush, which is a girl, because there's something that indicates that she likes the guy who's sitting in front of him. So he covers for her and says, no, that's mine. And so that guy thinks he likes him and starts being like, oh, you like me. And then, but he's like, he didn't, but then does he? And so it's a sort of, that's why it's called My Love Mix-Up, because it's all this sort of like who likes who and lots of mistaken stuff, and it's very cute. And I do like where it's going. I actually think it's really, sometimes it's really thoughtful, but it does sort of pull a lot of the, and this is why I would say it's not a yaoi. I'm not an expert, I did look it up, because the thing that's uncomfortable is a lot of times one of the characters will pull away and be like, no, I don't like him, like as if it's a bad thing to like another guy. And that I feel is not great. But it's also quite a young title, and like it's all like none of the people have been in love before, and it's all very awkward. But I still feel like that's not, like that's showing homophobic behavior, and that's not okay. But so that's where I get a little like, but so far, like, it's also just I don't know. Anyway, so that's what we're like. So I go back and forth on this one. So I start reading it and I put it aside, and I start reading it and put it aside. But there are enough elements, and there's lots of opportunity for growth for sure. But it does have those moments. So it's a little on that front. So, but I am continuing to read it. I do find it is a nice sort of lighter series, and I like to have one of those on the go. So that's the manga I'm currently reading. And now on to the currently reading. I have, last week I did share that I finished Beautiful Creatures and Heart of the Wolf. So that cleared off all but one romance on my currently reading of the titles I'm trying to finish by October 31st. So I am now reading my last romance on that list, which is The Iron Warrior Returns by Michelle Willingham. This is a historical medieval romance. I believe it's medieval. Oh shoot, don't quote me on that. It's not on here. She usually does medieval. It feels medieval. So this one, I have not been doing great on my currently reading this week. And one of the things that happened is this, I had only previously read the prologue and the first chapter, and that was back in February. So I didn't remember the premise of this at all. So I did go back and from the beginning and start from there. So I read those 34 pages, but I don't get to count those 34 pages for my currently reading. But now I know what the story is, so that's really helpful. So this is a male-female romance. The guy is the son of a lord who ruled an area who was killed, and he, along with a couple other people, including the love interest, were taken away as prisoners, but they escaped. So it's a year later, and he's trying to find a way to get back to, to retake his father's land. And there is a tournament, and if you win the tournament, you have a chance to win the hand of the marriage of the current lord. But of course, one of the people he escaped with is someone who feels strongly for him. One of the interesting things about this one is doesn't seem that interested in her, at all at the beginning, and you don't see from his perspective for a while, and then things start to happen, but generally, he's kind of he's very focused. He's like, I have to take back the land because, it's whatever. It's the right thing to do, or it's in my family. And so anyway, so I'm still early stages. I have read the next chapter, which was really long. So I got lots of pages yesterday. I'm enjoying it so far, but there's some tough stuff in this. In the prologue, they get captured, and the people in the land, I don't know what the right terms are for any of these things, are not being treated very well. So now he's even more motivated to try and overtake the area. So far it's been pretty good. Michelle Willingham is one of my favorite romance authors, and so it's been nice to get back to her work. I have lots of her backlist, and I've read lots of her works, so I'm really, really happy about this one. This is part of the Legendary Warrior series. It's the first one in the series. I also did get a story done from Story of Your Life and Others by Ted Chiang. This one, the one that I read, it was called 72 Letters, and I had opinions. I had lots of opinions, and it's the first one in the book that I've been kind of red flag, and I think because it had to do with controlling initially I don't know how to talk about it without spoilers, but I'll just say it had to, for me, that there were themes that came up, especially in terms of gender and control, that I was like, how come no one's saying something? Or how come someone didn't say something to criticize what that person just said? And how come there's only guy characters talking about this? Because, hello? So I had some issues. I do feel like it was more of a cautionary tale, and it was certainly not promoting the story it was sharing, and speculative fiction is often an opportunity for social commentary, and I think it was doing that, but it took a lot to get to, I knew it wasn't saying this is a good thing, but it took a lot to get there. Anyway, so I did finish the story. I'm not loving that that's where I'm ended off for now, but I do feel like I need to switch gears because I finished that story and then there's 3 left, and I think I'm going to leave those for October because I do want to finish Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel by the end of this month, because I was just strategizing in terms of what I have left, and I think I have a whole fantasy novel that I need to read, and I think I'm going to read that in October, and I'm going to finish this off in September. Gosh, where am I? I'm about halfway through. That'll be tough, and I am not enjoying this one. It is extremely well written, but I just don't want to read any more dystopic pandemic, survivalist works. I'm done. I've read lots of them. I've seen lots of shows. I've seen lots of movies. And I do feel like what this one is saying has some interesting elements to it. I actually, and honestly, to be honest, like, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I actually don't even yet consider this a speculative fiction title. Like, it's survivalist, it's a pandemic, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's speculative fiction. So I don't know if that means something is coming later in the story that's going to cement that it's speculative fiction, but I don't know. Anyway, so I'm having, like, these are some tough and heavy reads, but I do think it will feel good to get this done. And even if I resort to kind of speed reading, I might do that. I don't know. I'm more likely to do that than to DNF it. I'm not going to DNF it. I want to know what happens. I'm curious if I want to see the TV show. Probably not, but maybe. It is Canadian. It's won lots of awards. It's on lots of lists. I would get lots and lots and lots of my goals hit if I finish this. Like, so many goals. But it is tough. I also did finish a section in the Vikings this week. So I finished the section on the Scandinavian Community 3, and I am now on to, oh gosh, it's names. Ooh! So here we got, I don't know how to pronounce them. Svein Forkbeard, St. Olaf, and Knut the Great. And I don't know if I'm saying Knut right. I think I'm probably have the wrong accent there. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I am less than 100 pages from finishing this, so this is definitely a goal to finish by the end of the month, as is Madly Deeply by Alan Rickman. I read almost none of this week. My reading has not been great. Most of the days this week that I would normally have a good block of time to reading, something else came up. So I have not met my page count on almost any day. I think one day I had 2. They were from Outline Alphabets. I am still working on that. But what am I down to on Outline Alphabets? I've done 73. I have less than 30 left. One of the numbers says 27, one of the numbers says 23. I'm not sure how that works. I have 27 alphabets with 23 pages. I think it might not actually have 100 alphabets. I think that's what happened. I think I counted at some point, and I'm like, oh. So yeah, so this week I don't think I'm going to hit my goal, and I could sort of feel that. So I've sort of strategized a little bit differently that I want to finish 5 titles, because that's the other way to factor it is, do I finish X amount of pages or X amount of titles? I don't think I'm going to hit my page count goal, because this week was a very, 4 out of the 5 days so far, 3 of them I read very, very little, and one day I hit my goal. So I am well behind, and I don't see catching up. But that's why I like having a weekly reset and different ways to look at my goals, because I think when I think about it, can I finish less than 100 pages of this and by the end of the month? Yeah. Can I finish less than 100 pages of this by the end of the month? I mean, hopefully. And then this one's going to be a challenge, but I'm going to try for it. And then also another challenge will be, the other one I picked is the romance romance. Now, technically, I feel like I should hold this over and also keep it to October, because once I finish this, I am done with lighter titles, like faster reads, completely done. But I do have a couple of romances that I want to read in October, so I need to open up that reading slot. I do also need to finish, I read a little bit of Tess this week, but not a lot, and this I'm going to mostly have to read in October, but I'm going to try and get at least another sort of 150 pages done of that. And I'm also reading Hour of the Dragon. I'm down to less than 100 pages. I do feel like adding that whole novel in was a bit of a mistake, but because after that I have about 160 pages left of the collection that I need to finish before October 31st, and it's going to be tight. But I kind of resisted sort of saying this is going to be October and this is going to be September for a long time, but then I realized I really want to hit my goal, right? With these 9 titles that are left, I really want to hit my goal. And there's some that I know with full confidence I'm not going to finish to the very end. Outline Alphabets, I'm not going to finish to the very end. Test of the Dubervilles, I still have 424 pages left. It's actually not super slow, but it's pretty, anyway, I did. I was like, these are what I'm going to try and finish this month. Everything else is going to be in October, and then both Outline Alphabets and Tess I'm going to also try and continue this month. So it's going to be, I'm going to be talking about the same books, so I apologize in advance. I am going to be talking about the same books for the next little while, but I still think it's possible, and as I get to the end of something, I always have a sort of resurgence of energy for it, but I do feel like I've been working on this a really long time, and I can feel my energy waning, and I think once this week is done, I just have to be like, okay, that was less of a good week, and if I look back on the weeks, I'm not consistent. I'm not consistent at all. Lots of August was 200 pages, then 400 pages, then 200 pages, then 300 pages. So my goal is 300 pages a week, but I almost never actually hit 300. So I have to trust that, things will swing back in the other direction. And if I do get to the point where it's looking like, I don't know, I'm going to have to extend it a bit longer, or, maybe I will change my mind and be like, okay, I'm going to, for the next little while, I'm going to try and read these titles 6 days out of the week instead of 5 until I'm done, or something like that. I don't know. And even the other day, yesterday, I decided to sit down and finish 40 pages of this. I don't like reading that much of one title in a row. I don't, but I wanted to finish the story, so I did it. So I'm finding myself shifting my reading habits to meet the project needs, which I'm not liking. But I do feel like it is worth getting the slate clean. You know what I mean? These, because I don't DNF, and lots of these titles I still do really want to read, but because I want to finish them, I have to figure out how to do that. And so sometimes that means modifying how I engage and how much time I spend and those kinds of things. And I do feel like in the end it will be worth it. But this was not a great week. But, last week was a fantastic week. I finished, I read 175 pages of one book with Heart of the Wolf in a week. That is so outside the norm for me, without question. But I did it. I couldn't have predicted that. So why do I think I can predict what's going to happen next week, right? I don't know. Anyway, so sorry, that's a bit of a downer, but as I said, I really do want to achieve my goal. I just have to figure out how to get there and be okay with the fact that this week was a bit of a miss. It happens. I didn't expect it, but it happened. So, onward and upward. And so that's it for this Friday Reads. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back with another video. I do have a tag video in the works, and I have a couple of TV ones. I think it's probably going to be a tag video that will go up. And I did also get my book haul up last week for my summer reads, my summer book reads, and I was very excited that a lot of them I had read, so that felt really good. So I think that might be, there's something kind of fun about holding all of the books for the season and then doing one haul and sharing, because then I had something to say about them. So yeah, it just made me realize that that's another way to do a book haul. So I haven't been doing as much book shopping, so it just sort of landed that made sense this time around. Anyway, now I'm just rambling. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend ahead. Let me know how you do as you get closer to the end of a project. Do you have these moments where it just feels like, why am I even doing this? Or it feels, you know, what do you do when you get discouraged or just feel like things are not going your way? Do you change the parameters? Do you just reset? I'm just really going to try and reset and just have next week clean start, same goal, new day, you know, and see how it goes. And because I do find there is something about it does usually work out in the end, and try not to get too obsessive about the details, but I do both. Anyway, so I did make progress. I have made decisions. I know what is upcoming. I know what I'm working on. Now it's just about getting stuff read. So fingers crossed that happens. And yeah, okay, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon.